our series from the parking lot continues with one Michael Hoecht. And I guess I would call you an edge player, but I think you're going to be an exciting defensive chess piece for this team. I don't know how inventive Bobby Babich wants to get, but if he wants to put you in a multitude of places, I think you've proven in your career already that you can swing it. What were you sold on when the free agency process began here with the Bills and those conversations started to matriculate? What was most attractive to you in terms of what you were told your role could be here?
Yeah, I mean, number one, it's Bills Mafia. It looks like the most fun atmosphere on game day, and
that was number one.
Yeah, like
okay.
I mean, you can't help but be like romantic when you see that and the snow's coming down and the fans are throwing snowballs trying to knock field goals down. Like that's the best. And then schematically, Bobby Babich, obviously a ton of respect for them, and just what they were doing, talking to the coaches, talking to like how I would fit into the scheme and the structure. It just felt like a place that was exciting to play, and honestly, defense is a lot easier to play when your offense is really good.
Yep. And you're ahead on the scoreboard, right?
Yeah, so that's obviously a huge selling point for any defensive player coming. Like you have that complementary football on offense and special teams too.
One of the things too is there's a lot of new face. You're not just the only new face. All the guys. There's a lot of guys on the defensive front that are new to the system, new to the culture. How's that group coming together?
It's good. I mean, while we were at St. John Fisher, the amount of people yelling, "Joey Bosa, hey!" I'm like, that's not me. Right. So I need to get like a shirt that just says I'm not Joey Bosa until we get clear cut who's who. But no, I mean, I think the group's meshing well. We're obviously it's training camp, so we spend a ton of time with each other, just getting to know each other, building our culture, come connected. And the trip out to Chicago this weekend, that's always big this time of year, just because you can sort of travel together, get away, get on the plane, spend time, and then hopefully continue to make the steps in Chicago.
What about going away to training camp? Fan of it? Not
a
fan of it?
I love it.
You liked it?
I mean, I've also done it my entire life because the Rams would also travel.
Okay.
So fall camp comes around and you're always just living in dorms. You're bringing the box fans, and it's just that's just football in my mind. So maybe there comes a time in my life when I don't have that, but hopefully I'm staying here, and I don't think they have any plans not to go to St. John Fisher, so I would love to be here and continue to do that. Yeah.
There was a player who came here late in his career who you might be familiar with who made some similar positional transformations that you did. His name was Lorenzo Alexander. He's in Washington. He's a special teams player. He's playing offensive line, defensive line, eventually gets to the linebacker position and actually goes to a Pro Bowl here in a Bills uniform with a 12-sack season. You've had some similar transformations. Can you just speak to the challenge that presents body composition-wise and the work you have to put in to make a position shift like you have? Because you were like listed as a defensive tackle at one point in time, and now here you are as an edge guy. Just speak to the body composition commitment that takes in an offseason.
Yeah, I mean, physically, there's obviously a huge part of transitioning from defensive lineman, coming to league at 295, special teams, old school kickoff rules when you're running down a long way.
40 yards,
starting to be, there's no real reason to be 290, so you get into the 280 world, and then eventually outside linebacker 270 world. And, so that obviously takes a lot of physical work and working with nutritionists, working with strength coaches. But I think more than that, like every NFL team, and here especially, they have all the resources that they can kind of offload that on your plate and allow guys that want to be more versatile to focus on the X's and O's.
Yeah.
Because that's the bigger part is when you switch positions, is you're kind of seeing the game from a different perspective. Everything that was out here is now over there, and allowing to sort of have really good people help me in those corners also helps me. Now I can focus on X's and O's, look at, how am I rushing? I was a 3 technique, and I'm sort of this middle or win high guy, and now I'm the outside piece covering it up, or I'm walked back at linebacker and knowing the communication and doing that stuff.
So you're talking about the help from, hey, these are your keys now standpoint.
Correct.
So you can just go when you're in the game.
Yeah, 100%. And football, especially defense, it's about playing fast. You just have to make decisions 100 miles an hour. And you strive to have 100% perfect decisions,
Yeah.
but football's not a perfect game, and so it's just being able to process as much as you can. And there's a lot of information out there, and I think the biggest change from young players to more veteran players is you're able to filter out a lot of the things that don't matter and really focus in on what does the down and distance tell me? What part of the field am I in? What personnel are they in? What personnel are we in? What runs are we getting? What run did we get last week that we got gashed on that is all of a sudden this same formation this week, and it's copycat league, so antenna probably goes up, you're getting something similar.
Right.
So you come in, and if you don't mind, let's ask you, how do you expect this to go? What are some of your personal goals that you're willing to share with us? What are your expectations for your role? How's it going to go this year? What are you expecting to do this year?
Yeah, I mean, personally, I've always personal goals will always come with team success.
Sure.
And so, right now, especially in training camp, it is about team success. And the ultimate goal is always bring a Lombardi to Western New York. That is the goal, to be the best defense in the world, the best offense in the world, the best special teams in the world, and then just the best team in the world. So the more you can focus on that, the plays will come. And we always talk about you don't want to chase plays, just make the ones you're supposed to make.
Right.
And just comes to mind is I remember early on in my rookie year, Cooper Kupp was talking about, receivers making catches. And they say you should make 100% of the catches you're supposed to make and 50% of the ones you're not.
Right.
And that always stuck with me because I thought about it on defense where you need to make 100% of the plays you're supposed to make. And then to be a great player, you got to make 50% of the ones where you're not supposed to make those, but great job, you made it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. Playing off of one another on defense also is an important factor to unit and team success on that side of the ball. All these guys are new to you. How have you been able to advance your game in that respect, whether it's working off a DT or working on tackle and stunt games and things of that nature to a place where you feel comfortable? And it may just take a couple of more preseason games. Heck, it might take the first month of the season until you feel like, hey, we're a well-oiled machine. Oh, Joey's on the field. All right, I know how to play off of him in this instance.
Right.
Just maybe assess the level of progress in that area for you, because it's a big component.
For sure. I mean, we're definitely in a good spot, and it's you do have to learn how does Ed Oliver rush, how does DQ rush, how does Joey rush, so you got to learn some of those pieces, and you do get a feel for it. But and the other part of it too is you have to learn how is our offense protecting things, and then when we go to Chicago, how are they protecting things. Mm-hmm. But that's what football is. That's why we all come into work every day and practice it. And you do eventually start to get a feel for who rushes and how they rush. So even if you're not in on that rep, if you see Ed Oliver take his rush high, you're taking that mental rep. And then when we go do one-on-one pass rush with the offensive line there, you start to see what moves he's making and studying the tackles. So I mean, that's what training camp's for, is you're finding out. That's how you kind of become a connected team. And in last week's preseason game, I think one of the places we need to make an improvement on is sort of that rush lane integrity. It was a little spacey, quarterback out of the pocket a little bit too much, and so I think that's what one of the challenges that we have this week is to clean some of that stuff up. First preseason, not going to be perfect, but you got to watch it and do it live, and then make those corrections, and then emphasize it for the Chicago game, and make some of those mistakes.
Let's keep it in the short term. What are your hopes and dreams for this week in Chicago? Joint practice, second preseason game, long way to go after that. But what about this week? This joint practice and preseason game?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a football season is like this, and if you expect to show up and be here, you're gonna have a long year. So it's continue to build that, not take steps backwards. So the things we did well last week and in the game against the Giants, continue to build on those, and then the mistakes that happen, correct those mistakes. Don't let them happen again. And honestly, for the preseason, you got to find out what you might not know and what things kind of come up that you can only script so much in practice until you figure things out, and have to talk about looks. And the Giants ran a reverse on the first drive of the game last week, and so we got to talk about all right, we can talk about that base rules, but until you actually go cover a tackle football reverse, you gotta have that conversation. So the goals for Chicago is just continue to develop on the things that we made mistakes last week, and then never taking a step backwards. Once we've corrected it once, never have to correct it again.
Right.
Last one from me. You're an Ontario native, so how big should we expect the Michael Hoecht contingent and fan club to be at home games this season?
Yeah, there's a lot. There's just going to be a huge block of 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5. Like there's just,
okay.
it's just all five.
Like a whole section
yeah,
almost.
Yeah,
stuff.
it's just going to be yeah, they're all excited to come down. I think my dad's got like some golf buddies that are organizing like a party bus to all like
nice.
ship on down. So no,
how long's the drive from home to get here?
So they live a bit north of the city, so they're probably 2 and a bit.
Okay.
Yeah, depending on the border traffic, but yeah, I mean it's a lot closer than 6 hours on a flight to LA.
Yeah.
Last
Amen
one,
to that.
Last one for me. So I'll give you a chance here. You've been around the league, and this is not your first rodeo. Give us an idea, maybe some of the young guys as you've come in the draft. You got 3 draft picks sitting around you. Give you a chance to toot somebody's horn, or give us a shot across our bows of who we should look for.
Yeah, I mean, you can. I think in the game you saw some of what TJ Sanders could do. He's got a good twitch, good motor, and he's a great personality in the locker room. And I think not a rookie, but Javon Solomon's also been awesome. He's taken. I mean, I've only known him as this Javon Solomon, so I'm like, this guy's been great. But for him to like look and play, like he's playing above what a second-year player would be at right now, and so. He and I have had a lot of dialogue about, some of the things that, different positions and really trying to understand football more in this system. But, and you've seen it across the board that, every single player across the defensive line has taken a major step even since like 2 weeks ago.
Right.
So, that's been awesome to see. It's credit to the coaching and, spending 12-hour days here trying to, again, trying to be the best in the world.
Awesome.
Michael, thanks for the time. We appreciate it.
Thank you,
especially
guys.
right off
Good
the
to see you,
practice
man.
field. Get yourself hydrated. And we look forward to seeing you in the joint practice Friday and then obviously the game on Sunday night, which is a nationally televised game, by the way, on Fox. We'll take a break here. Be back with more on One Bills Live, presented by Kaleida Health. It's Buffalo Bills Radio.